Next fight, Justin Gaethje giving Mr. Rafael Fiziev a second shot with the loss of the Dan Hooker. I thought that was pretty impressive that he said yes to a guy that is dangerous like Fiziev. Even the odds makers had Fiziev as the favorite in it. But Justin comes out with a very hard fought and justified win in that. I had it at 29-28. I thought Fiziev won the first round. And then Justin came on. And it was really, to me, it was, this is where you'll notice a fighter like Fiziev. His technique is fantastic. He's just beautifully trained and the way he does things. But when he's in this position of he only had the couple of weeks to get himself prepared for the fight, he put so much energy out in that first round and a half that this is a guy, when you're watching him and he's fighting, he uses his feet incredibly well. And when I say he uses his feet, what I'm talking about is a good striker moves himself with his feet in and out to avoid. That's what gets you out of danger. Now, he sometimes does like the lean back and things like that, which only
good strikers can do.
There you go. That's the truth. But you saw in the second half of that fight, his feet stopped for a lot of it because he was getting tired and he was getting caught in that phone booth area with Justin, which meant he had to sling with Justin in the area that Justin's the best at. The Justin Gaethje fighting in a phone booth, he loves, he's got certain combinations that he throws, and he throws, a beautiful right uppercut with a left hook, and he does this over and over. And he's effective with it. And then, that's how he dropped him in the second round, was that same thing right inside. And Gaethje went back to being the same fighter he was as far as the first time he fought Fiziev, because I thought he fought him the first time, fought him smart. Didn't get into so much the brawl and dominated when he could on the inside. Well, he went back to trying to dominate on the inside, and it worked for him.
No, it definitely did. He had success in those tight quarters, but this honestly, I've seen him fight so many times, John, but tonight was very eye-opening for me. Justin Gaethje is not a striker like any other striker we've seen. And not so much in the terms of like how he fights. It's really like how he moves his body. It's, he's not a traditional style like boxer or kickboxer or any of those. Like even his kicks, look how hard they are. And these fighters have told everyone how hard that he kicks. But his leg kicks look like trash. Like you see him, he like a weird, like it's a weird kick. It just looks weird. But everybody says they're so painful. I remember talking to some past guys that had trained with him, and also past guys that had fought him in the World Series of Fighting. Like, man, his leg kicks are nasty. Like 2 or 3, and you're done for the whole fight. I'm like, yeah. As you're just like, okay. Yeah, but sure. What it is, what I saw tonight was very eye-opening. Is I didn't realize how well he fights inside that phone booth. Only because I didn't realize that he dips his head so much, but he's got a very similar, like he understands his combinations where he works, but where most people work really well in those tight quarters is because they keep their punches tight. It always looks like he's swinging loopy, but he's not. No. He actually punches very well in tight quarters. So the uppercut where he clinched the head and pulled the head down into the uppercut, brilliant. But then when he comes out of that, he pulls his hand straight down, elbow up, and he loops around almost like a Fedor style with the overhand right. He does a great job of that. And most people, when they loop with the overhand right, their arm gets so extended that they end up wrapping around the back of the head,
they club.
Yeah, or what they do is they reach it, they try to overcompensate and bring it in, and then they miss while the person dips back. But he's found that sweet spot. He knows what the range is. If his head almost is still touching the belly button, he knows he can land. And it just seems like when he dips, his head is used to being in certain positions, and he knows where that opponent's head is, and he lands almost every single time. It's brilliant, John, because he doesn't move. He doesn't strike and fight like any other fighter we've ever seen before. And that's why he's so successful. His kicks are janky, but they're effective. His boxing has got power, but he fights better in a phone booth than I've ever seen. A lot of the, especially I've ever seen an MMA guy. And I didn't really truly recognize it until tonight. And I feel like a total idiot because I've seen him fight at least 10, 15 times.
You look and you go, the place to fight him. And I thought the place for Fiziev to actually be successful is be at distance, be at range. Don't let him come in. You know, he'll make those rushes and stuff, but when he does, circle out and make it to where the range is on your side. You know, Dustin Poirier, when he fought him, you know, you can go back and look when he was successful. He fought at range, hurt him at range, and then came in and finished him off, you know, in the first one, but lost in the second one. He's a unique fighter. And if there's one thing about, you know, Gaethje, when you look at him, if there's any doubt about how tough he is, because he takes shots and he always does the same thing. He takes shots and he's like,
no, he's like this.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Gives little hand gestures. Come on.
Oh, it is. You know, he's like blinking his eye because, you know, that hurt, but come on. And I'm like, you are a tough son of a bitch.
He's an animal, man.
Oh,
he's a freaking animal. You know, love the respect he showed tonight. I thought he fought a brilliant fight. He put himself in jeopardy a couple of times, but he fought his way out of it. He didn't take too many risks, but he knew exactly where he was at in terms of fighting smart the whole fight. Just a brilliant performance tonight, coming off the knockout loss that he had and making slight adjustments, but not changing who he was. Some guys, when they get knocked out, or some guys, when they come off a loss, they try to revamp themselves. If it's like the whole world has changed, like, man, I suck now. No. You're still really good. You just got caught, or you made a mistake, or you know, you just got to work on that one thing that got you in that position. He knows what he's good at. He knows what butters his bread. Like, he knows it. I mean, he's that head dip. He fights like no other fighter does. He comes up. He's got his set combinations that he knows works really well with it. It's no different than, remember the Jake Shields thing I talk about all the time. Is Jake had like 3 or 4 moves, but they were so perfected in what he did that he could get to them from anywhere. And it just runs back to that old saying. I mean, what was it? I fear the guy who practices one move 1,000 times versus a guy who practices 1,000 moves one time. It's very true. Like, you know, and I have this conversation with my son all the time. Like, hey, stop trying to do all this stupid shit, like this fancy dumb stuff, you know, with your lacrosse ball and soccer ball. Like, just practice the one damn move and get really good at it.
Basics.
It really is. And I learned a lot of that too from the guys from AOJ, Rafa Mendez, Guillermo Mendez. They spend so much time drilling at not drilling, not fight pace, but they spend a lot of time drilling slowly. And as it gets better, they pick it up, and as they get better and faster, and they get better partners, they drill it faster and faster and faster. But it's a lot of drilling, and he's had repetition countless times of sparring, and it shows because his combinations he has set, they work for him, and he goes to the well on them all the time. And it's not a combination that fighters are used to seeing, because we're not used to fighters' heads being down by our belly buttons.
Yeah,
you know, and guys being able to have a tight enough punch coming over the top, the overhand right, or then, you know, basically winging a left hook, but not even really winging a left hook over the top, but then just kind of clinching the head and then coming back up with the uppercut. That style is very difficult and for fighters to deal with, because you don't mimic that inside the gym. You don't have guys mimic that in the gym. You're just thinking like, oh, he's got sloppy stand up, you know, I'll catch him in the transition. But it's different when you get out there and have to deal with his ass. You're like, damn, he hits hard. Damn, he kicks hard. Damn, he's not as easy to take down as I thought. You know, like he
actually Fiziev did a great job with 2 takedowns early, right?
He did.
You go, wow.
Yeah, I was very surprised. And the way he actually got that upside down triangle.
Almost right. It was more of a scissor.
Yeah, it was more of a scissor, but he was able to kick himself back. If you go back and watch, he actually had it where Fiziev's face was on the ground, and he actually pushed off the ground and kicked his legs back and sat back on him so he could sit on his head and just elbow the body. I'm surprised he wasn't more active in that position. It was almost like, oh, I'm comfortable here. Let me enjoy up here in the moment, you know, and just when he should have been trying to get to work on the thighs, you know, or the ribs or something with those elbows. You know, and now, you know, the 12-6 is legal. He should have been trying to get more busy with that when he had that position. So, but overall, I thought this was probably, to me, it was fight of the night. It was another one of those fights that was very, the game plans were played out. Like, it was set. And Fiziev had to do the best he could with what he had in terms of cardio, because he won the first, lost the second, but he came out really hard in the third. I skipped, you know, a couple rounds.
Just a couple rounds.
But he came out really hard in the third, and it was a fantastic like start to the third round. I was like, oh wow, he got his second win. And then he got tired with a minute 20 left against Justin Gaethje. Fuck no. That's not where you want to be. That's just not where you want to be, right? This episode is brought to you by BetUS. Make sure you guys YouTube 150 for the promo code. Also, Element, use the link in the descriptions down below. Any product you buy from there, they will send you a bonus package of product if you use our link down below. Element's amazing, man. I love it. And I want to say thank you, man. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support us.